Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Harvest Horror Fest.
Welcome, slashers and slashettes, to the 6th Annual Harvest Horror Fest. I'm your host, Mike Talent, and with me, as always, is Matt. Do we October Matt? Do we have a thing for you, Matt? Pumpkin Matt? I don't know. What do you want to? What is your name for this month?
Wait, hold on. Pumpkin Matt? Is that because I'm fat?
No. It's just the time of the year. I don't know why you would take it like that.
Because I'm plump and round and orange.
Well, dude, no one knew you were orange until you just told them.
Well, you got to get festive, Mike.
Okay, I guess that's true. I'm trying to be orange like you, Matt. That's why I drink so many pumpkin beers.
Oh, is that the key? Well, I don't drink pumpkin beers. I drink another kind of beer that we'll get to later on in the podcast.
All right, Matt. Well, for this episode number 343, we're going to be talking about Saw 10 or Saw X.
No, dude.
What do you think?
I am going with Saw X. They can call it Saw 10, but there's not a 1 and a 0. It's an X. I'm a white person. This is America. Saw X.
All right. Saw X. Matt, are you ready for the rundown? I know it's a little different than we normally do.
Oh, hell yeah, Mike. I am ready to break this bitch down for you. I didn't read this, so this is all me going off the cuff without practicing. So if I sound like Mike, I apologize, everyone.
All right.
Here we go. Saw X was directed by Kevin Grudert, writers Pete Goldfinger and Josh Stolberg. It stars, back from the dead. I guess not from the dead. He just hasn't been in one of these for a very long time. Tobin Bell, Shawnee Smith. Now, I'm probably going to butcher this one. I even tried to look up how to say this one, but I believe she is Swedish, maybe? It's Synnöve Makoti Lund, Stephen Brand, and Renata. I think that's Renata Vaca, star in Saw X. Woo! So here you go. Here's a little bit of the business, the whatever IMDb calls it. A sick and desperate John travels to Mexico for a risky and experimental medical procedure in hopes of a miracle cure for his cancer, only to discover the entire operation is a scam to defraud the most vulnerable. That is the longest goddamn run-on sentence. Jesus, that was one sentence on this thing. Who the hell writes these things? Oh, that's right, the studio. Sorry, Mike, back to you.
Oh, man, I probably wrote that because you know how good my writing is.
It sure as hell wasn't the AI.
No, it wasn't the AI. The AI would have it just, nicely punctuated and it wouldn't be very long and it would be succinct. I don't know.
So get off topic, like right off the start, I like to do that. I saw a second movie this weekend.
What'd you see, dude? Did you see the, I can't think of the name. The sci-fi movie?
Yes.
The Creator, and
it's about AI, and I will not talk about it in case we do review it in the future in a throwback, but it's very good if you are a sci-fi fan. I highly recommend it. It's kind of not good timing on their part to come out right now with all the strikes and all the shit going on with AI, but if you like sci-fi, I highly recommend it, especially in the theaters. It is very good. It's a lot of fun.
All right, dude. Well, I guess circling back, Matt, we finally get Jigsaw back into the movie. What are your first impressions seeing this new movie that's supposed to take place kind of between the first Saw 1, and second Saw?
So my question, Mike, I haven't seen a lot of these. I think I talked about it last week, and I've definitely talked about it on the radio. I believe I've seen 1 through 3, and then I just kind of gave up. I didn't realize that our main character, Jigsaw, well, he's not the main character in the first one, but he is it in subsequent ones, to my understanding. When was his last one? Was it like 6 or 7 or something?
I think it was technically 6 was his last one, but I think he's referenced in flashbacks a lot throughout the series. I haven't seen these in a while. I'm not sure if they're still streaming on Amazon Prime, but they were all streaming on Amazon Prime. I don't know if it was up until the release of this or they're still there. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm not sure the exact time he disappeared from the franchise, but I think they always still reference him. There's like a photo or whatever. Like they somehow do something, because, and you're right, Matt, the first one, he's not really in it because you don't know what's going on and it's just two guys in a room.
Right. So he's not the star, but he is, but he's not. It's kind of confusing like that. But Mike, just to let you know, I did watch the original Saw before going and seeing Saw X, and I don't know exactly the time frame that takes place, but there are many years between the original Saw and Saw 2, and Saw X does take place between those two, and rumors are this one is doing gangbusters again, and they will possibly do a trilogy off of Saw X that goes in between the two. I don't know how, but rumors are they might. So we might get 2 more Saw movies in the next couple of years.
Yeah, man. It is doing quite well overall. It's the biggest opening in quite a while for these type movies, and I'll tell you what, Matt, I enjoyed it. I had a great time with this, but I kind of lean towards these kind of revenge type movies, and this is like revenge horror. So like, this is great. It was right up my alley.
Dude, there's some movies that are coming in the near future within the next 6-7 months that are pretty hardcore revenge movies, and I have a feeling we're probably gonna have to go see all of them because I know that's like your favorite thing, which I don't understand. Like, we've had this discussion before. You're such a nice, kind, giving soul, Mike. Who are you so against and you need to get revenge against? Is it me?
Yes, it's you.
Well, shit, that answers it. Never mind. We were gonna have a discussion, but hey, we're done. But
yeah, no, it's not you. I don't know, man. I just really enjoy these movies. I don't know. I guess I get some sort of satisfaction out of people kind of, I don't know, executing karma kind of in their own fashion, kind of.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But karma is supposed to come back on its own. You're not supposed to force karma.
Yeah, but I kind of like the idea of the forced karma.
Well, it's kind of like in Christianity. You're not supposed to punish people. God will punish them. That's very much karma-esque as well. But anyways, okay, let me give you my first impressions because I know you asked and I totally danced the fuck around it. But, I'm not a huge fan of gore porn or murder porn or whatever you want to call this. It's a horror movie, I guess, but it's not really a horror movie. It's not scary to me in any way, shape, or form. It's extremely graphic and over the top and murdery and gory. And it's just not my thing. I would rather see it like a legit horror movie, but I don't love horror movies like you to begin with, but I respect them. And so I'm going to say this now, even though we're not near our ratings yet, we still got about 15 minutes to go. But my rating will not be based on my distaste for horror movies or my dislike for gore porn. It's based on the film itself and what I think people would probably that like these films would like. I mean, does that make sense? I'm not trying to pad it and be like, oh, this is great. But I'm not trying to be like, oh, well, I'm not trying to be biased because I don't love horror movies. How's that? That's what I mean.
All right, dude. All right.
So
yeah.
With that said, this movie's decent. I haven't seen any of the other Saw movies other than the first 3. I feel that this one's a lot closer to the first and second one in style and feel and all that. One thing I liked is they did not try to de-age the people, the main characters in it. They did not try to de-age Tobin Bell, and they did not try to de-age Amanda, who's played by Shawnee Smith. It's been 10 or 15 or 20 years since the first one. They didn't try to hide it. They just let it roll. And that's fine. I like that. The other thing I really liked about this, but kind of didn't like either, is they humanized Jigsaw. and they kind of made him into the good guy, but not the good guy. So I kind of like that. A lot of people are going to say the first half of the film is boring and drags ass. I like that part of the film because that gives you the backstory and it helps teach you why Jigsaw is doing what he's doing and why he continues to do it on all those things. So I thought that was great. As far as the puzzles and the traps, some of them are pretty good. Some of them are pretty believable that they might have existed. They're all pretty screwed up. But the climax at the end, I'm not going to spoil it, but the climax at the end, I actually thought was kind of a letdown.
Okay, dude. All right. I could see that. I could see that. We'll circle back to that, Matt, I think a little bit more in the spoilers because I don't want to give away too much right now. But yeah, I think I enjoyed the setup of this. I like the revenge stuff. You're right. It totally humanized Jigsaw much more than we've seen in prior movies. But I think it worked well for what the main story of this movie was, is Jigsaw's getting some treatment and they're not really providing the treatment correctly.
Now, I'm not sure where the timeline kind of falls in this aspect. I mean, there is the first one, and this does take place between the first and the second one, but it kind of jumps around a little bit in timing-wise, in my opinion. So I don't know if he's already torturing and not torturing, but setting up puzzles for people already by this one. But this one definitely lights a fire under his ass to keep doing it and doing it a lot more because of what happens to him. But like, I'm doing my best not to spoil things because we're not to spoilers yet. We're close, but we're not there yet. But there's a scene where there's a puzzle going on and you 100% think, oh man, this is straight up happening and all this other shit. And then you find out, no, it's just in his brain. And so you're thinking, well, has he done the first Saw yet at this point? Or has he not done the first Saw yet? He's just putting these puzzles together and drawing them out. And then I don't know. I'm a little confused on that in the film, but that's why we're here to discuss it.
Yeah. No, I think it gave you a window into how his mind works when he sees things. And it was kind of like a daydream. I mean, Matt, you might not have quite those type of daydreams, but I imagine you have a daydream every once in a while.
No, I don't dream at all, Mike. You keep forgetting I don't have a soul.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Now I remember. We're good.
Yeah, I'm like the AI. I don't have a soul, so I'm not going to go to heaven.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine.
All right, Mike, I'm glad you're so nonchalant. So, Mike, do I need to ask the question, or are you going to ask the question?
Oh, that's a good question. Why don't you ask me the question?
Oh, okay. So we're going to do that. I got to remember this. Well, Mike, with all this talking, I am quite parched. Mysterious Mike Talent, what are you drinking this fine evening, morning, afternoon, brunch, lunner?
What about Dunch?
Oh, I forgot Dunch. I apologize, Dunch.
Matt, like I said earlier in the podcast, I am trying to become a pumpkin, and I am drinking a pumpkin ale. This one is just, it's Aldi's brand, and it's literally just called Pumpkin Ale.
Well, that sounds delightful, Mike. Aldi's Pumpkin Ale. So I hope you have more than just that one for the next 6 podcasts or whatever.
Yes. I have some other ones already stocked away. We went on a little bit of a binge over here to make sure that I could be the best pumpkin that I can be.
Well, because I was going to say, this is your time to shine. You got your pumpkin ales and you got your Harvest Horefest, Mike. This is like your takeover. This is 100% your podcast now.
It is. And like you reminded me, now I got to do all the work. It's good.
Yes, you do. Well, Mike, so like I promised, courtesy of Real Film Nerds, super fan Eric, I'm drinking a Sam Adams Oktoberfest, and I will be drinking a Sam Adams Oktoberfest every week from here on out. Sorry, but that's what it is, peeps.
Okay.
Now, this next one is your favorite segment, so I know I have to ask this question too. Mike, what is this week's just horrific dad joke?
I got dad jokes, I don't think they understand though. Gotta think I'm funny, other people never laugh though. Dad jokes.
All right. Matt, you're going to like this one a lot, dude. German sausages are just the worst.
I don't know if that's a joke, but yeah, it's a statement. They're definitely the worst, and I know. So, all right. So I will ask my third question of the podcast.
All right, dude. Keep asking.
Mike, how does Saw X relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
All right, dude. This one I had to go a little bit further in than I usually do. There's not a lot of people in this movie, and luckily the makeup department was there for me.
Would you say, Mike, that you had to cut deeper?
Yes, I had. Yes, I did have to cut deeper, Matt.
See, there you go. There's a good pun. Good old dad joke right there for you.
That's great, Matt. So it's in the makeup department we had Kelsey Burke. She worked on Captain Marvel in the special makeup department.
Well, whatever it was, it didn't make the movie better. Boom!
Ouch! Wow.
God, dude,
just
I keep seeing that trailer every single time we go to the theaters. Sorry, not to interrupt you, but the Marvels movie coming in November.
Yeah.
And I keep telling my buddy Clint that I go to the movies with. I'm like, dude, I know you're not going to want to go, but we're going to have to go see that one. We're going to have to go see that one. He's like, why do we have to see that one? I'm like, we see every single Marvel movie, no matter how bad it is. So I am ready to tear that son of a bitch apart.
Well, all right, Matt. Speaking of tearing things apart, why don't you tell us about this? We're in the spoiler zones, people. So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, make sure you stop listening now. Okay, now why don't you tell us about things in this movie and tearing apart? Go.
Okay, so my mom, which you will hear later on, kept talking about how horrible this was and how fake it was, and I tried to explain it on the radio without spoiling it, but I don't know if I did a very good job. The very first puzzle, not the first puzzle in the film, not the one he's thinking about, which I thought was fantastic. That one was wild, hooking up the vacuum to the dude's eyeballs and sucking his eyeballs out. Woo! That was fucking crazy. But
yeah, that was crazy. Yep.
And that didn't really happen. It was just in his head. But the very first one, the hot young chick has to cut her own leg off, and I couldn't fucking watch it. I'll be honest. I couldn't fucking watch that shit like as she's cutting through because I could just feel it, you know? And my mom was like, it was so fake. The leg looks so fake. Ma Hinshaw, my 81-year-old fucking mother is sitting here watching this shit, and she said she was literally laughing. I'm like, God damn it, Mom. And I couldn't watch this shit.
Wow. All right. Well, I guess, different strokes, Matt.
Yeah. One of the more fun ones, not that they're fun at all, they're all fucking horrible, but is the bloodboarding. That was interesting. That was really interesting.
Yeah. No, that was interesting. I felt real bad for the little kid that was stuck there with Jigsaw, but that was it was interesting that his trap thing or whatever puzzle kind of got turned on himself. That was interesting.
But clearly it was intended because he knew.
He knew, but I don't think he knew. I think they were planning on Amanda and him being on there.
Okay, I could see that. They didn't see Parker coming. I still think, but they did. They did, though, because they pointed it out later in the film.
No. They saw Parker coming. They didn't see the little boy.
Oh, yeah. No, it was, yes, you're right. It was going to be him and his assistant on it, not him and the little boy. Right.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I got you on that. No, I think that was one of the best ones, but I'll just spoil it right off the fucking bat here. The ending I thought was a real letdown. I mean, she was a hell of a bitch. Cecilia, I mean, she was awful. She was a incredible villain, just awful. I mean, way worse than Jigsaw in my opinion. And all she does is get gassed, and there's not even proof that she even fucking died, dude. She might be in the next one or a third one.
I don't think she did, dude, because I felt like, he gives people a chance to live, right? And this one was like, you have to, like, only one of you is getting out of here alive.
Right, but still the gas was eating their skin and doing all that stuff, but I guess it wasn't going to kill her. I guess only if you inhaled it, it probably killed you.
Yeah, well, I think she's definitely scarred for sure from it, but, that's almost some of his thing is you would have some sort of wound, whether it was visible or not, that you would survive, whether you had to cut something or whatever. Like the girl with the leg thing. Now, yeah, that was pretty rough. But the guy with the brain matter.
Oh, holy shit, that was fucking wild. Now the torture or not the torture. I don't know what the fuck you would call it. I guess torture. The fact that he had to cut his own brain out and then pull
I guess challenge.
The challenge was way worse than the punishment. And the punishment, yeah, he died, but cutting his brain out, holy fuck. Well, and then here's the other thing. I tried to explain this to my mom. The only way Saw even exists is that going into shock doesn't exist in this world. Like, your body doesn't go into shock, because all these motherfuckers would have gone into shock and that would have been the end of the game.
Well, I think that's why it's only like 3 minutes, man. Okay, you would have enough time to do the thing you needed. You'd be on the adrenaline or whatever, and then you would just go to shock.
I don't know, dude. I don't think so. I think some people would go into shock and then the game will be over. So how I make it, as you like to put it, hit the I believe button, is that shock just doesn't exist in this world.
Okay. All right. Well, Matt, since you brought it up, I will talk a little bit about the I believe button. You have to suspend some disbelief in this. We are led to believe that, Jigsaw's in Mexico, which he probably was. I don't know if they really filmed it in Mexico or not, because they could have filmed it pretty much anywhere. But they did have some shots of, I think, Mexico City.
They did, but I mean, they could have purchased B-roll, or they could have just sent a crew down to shoot B-roll. But you never actually see them physically moving around in Mexico City.
Right. So it's just a set somewhere. But anyway, Jigsaw supposedly, after he gets, defrauded or whatever, and he finds out it's a scam, he goes back to the scene of the crime and no one's there. And in, I don't know how long of time, a matter of days, he rigs up all this stuff. Now, I do know he has a helper, but it seemed a little bit far-fetched for even me. But that's okay. Like, because where does he get all the stuff to make the things, like his little devices and stuff, especially if he's in Mexico? Does he have, like, is there a FedEx that, he just has this stuff on standby wherever he's from?
Well, yeah, dude. You've never heard of the Amazon of torture?
Oh, right.
1-800-ITorture.net.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they got it all.
Yeah, so that was a little far-fetched even for me, because most of the time, a lot of his contraptions must have taken a long time to figure out and plan and set up. And this, it's like, yeah, I'll set this up in 2 days. Bitches got to pay.
Well, and not to keep talking about Ma Henshaw, because she will probably talk about it as well here shortly. I haven't recorded her segment yet. But on the radio, my mom was calling bullshit on that, because she's like, the dude's supposed to die in 3 months, and yet he devises all these traps and sets all these puzzles up and does all this stuff in less than 3 months. Even my mom said bullshit. She didn't say bullshit on the radio, obviously, but that's what she was implying.
Yeah, so that was probably the biggest leap of faith for me. But overall, man, I like the theming of this movie and like the setup of the story and even the little twist, which I kind of saw coming, but didn't 100%. With the guy who's comes banging on the door and is like, "Give me my money," like who also is like a fake patient or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I kind of saw it coming, but I didn't see it coming, but I did. I mean, I kind of predicted it. I was like, there's no fucking way he just figured it out, but he was there, so he would have known where it was. So I don't know.
Yeah, but our villain, the doctor or the doctor's
Yeah. Cecilia Peterson.
daughter,
Yeah.
Cecilia, she was vicious, dude. Like she was wow.
No, she was a good villain. I mean, a bad villain, but a good villain. Like she was very good at being able to hate. Like I hated her a lot more than I hated Jigsaw. That's kind of why you feel sympathy for Jigsaw, and you really shouldn't, because he's a terrible person too. So it's a lot of terrible people.
Yeah, well, he just has a different way of looking at things, man. Just different moral code.
It's called terrible. I don't care. It's terrible.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, this is coming from a guy with no soul, so
Good.
take that as you will.
Good point,
people.
Mike. Good point. So, okay. Well, Mike, out of the 10 Saw films, where would you put this one?
Ooh, man, that's a great question. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I put this one up higher, dude. I liked it quite a bit. I'd probably put this in the top 2 or 3.
Okay.
2 or 3 movies.
All right. Very good. Very good. Well, I haven't seen all of them, so I'm not going to be answering my own question. So
That's great, man. Nice. Set it up, throw it at me, and then just walk away.
out of the ones I saw, it's out of the Saws I've saw. Out of the C's I've saw.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Sees, can you do saw plural?
Out of the
Saws?
Saws I've seen. There we go. Saws that I've seen. The original is my favorite by far. If you want to know my rating, I don't know if we'll do it do you want me to not give my rating on that? Because I have watched it this past week.
No, you can save it. You can save
I can
that.
save it. Okay. Cause yeah, I mean, I can give that out since I did watch it and I did rate it. If you want to know, you can always follow me on Letterboxd. I mean, I have all my ratings on there. People can find it pretty easily. You know, I'm just under my real name, Matt Hinshaw, on Letterboxd. But anyways, I would say this is probably, I'd say the third one, because I think number 1 is the best. I would say number 2 is probably second. Then I'd probably put this one out of the 4 I've seen, because I've seen 1 through 3, and then I've seen this one. And 3 I thought was just meh. That's why I stopped watching them.
Yeah. I mean, this movie has been going on for about 20 years now, just shy of 20 years, and has made Lionsgate, the production company, over $1 billion.
Oh, shit, dude. They're probably getting ready to make a lot more.
Yeah. So I think they're very happy with how this one is performing, and you know, it was better. Like, it was back to the better formula with the original actors, and I don't know, just it was simple, straightforward, and it worked.
Telling you, I think there's going to be at least 2 more of these, and then maybe that'll be the end of it. I don't know. I'd rather go out on a high note than keep dragging the shit along, you know. But again, if there's money to be made, you know, Hollywood, they're going to make money.
Yeah, man, you got to milk it, especially when you don't have anybody who can write a script anymore. So it's like they got to just have the actors show up and be like, all right, ad-lib this.
So, all right, Mike, what movie are we doing for the 6th annual Harvest Horror Fest Part 2?
All right, Matt. Well, we are doing The Exorcist. Exorcist, it's the beginning, right?
No.
Is that what it's called?
It's The Exorcist, Believer.
Ah, yes. Exorcist, Believer. And we're going to be doing that for episode 344 for the second pod of the 6th annual Harvest Horror Fest.
For those of you who can't tell, I have to know all these things before I go on the radio, and I go on the radio about 4 or 5 days before we do the podcast. It's almost a week, actually, from when I see the movie and do it. So coming up, The Exorcist Believer. It is a direct sequel to the original Exorcist. Now, there's probably been shows and other movies and all that other shit over the years, but this one is a direct sequel to the original. I kind of want to watch the original again just so I'm fresh and clean going into it, much like I've done for the past 3 freaking weeks. And, you know, I got so much time, might as well, right?
Might as well, Matt. Might as well. I will try to watch it. I don't know if I will get a chance. We both have busy schedules, so we'll see what we can do. But I think it could enhance our experience.
Yeah, well, and this one is what I would call a traditional horror movie. This one is what I'm a lot more closely excited about, but excited is, I'm going to use that as a loose word. I think this shit is going to be freaky as all hell get out, but you know, I'll probably cry. I will probably need to go with multiple people so that when I jump and scream and, you know, freak out, I have someone there to protect me.
Yeah, well, Matt, remember when you're watching The Exorcist Believer, make sure you just remind yourself you have no soul, so you're fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, they can try and, you know, possess me all they want, but there's no soul there, so what are they going to possess?
Correct. So, got that one checked off, Matt. Good to go.
Excellent. I like it, Mike. I like it. So, all right, I guess I will ask you the question because it is your baby, the Harvest Horror Fest. Mike, how many reels do you give Saw X?
I'm going to give Saw X or Saw 10 4 out of 5 reels. I had a great time watching this movie. It's revenge. It's kind of true to form Saw. I liked it.
So again, I prefaced this earlier in the podcast. I am going to remove my not disgust, not dislike, but my not appeal. Sure, fuck it. Why not? That works. My desire to watch horror movies, I'm removing that from the equation. And with that said, Mike, I give Saw X 3.5 out of 5 reels. I think it was well done. I think the blood, guts, and gore, even though my mom says it was fake, I thought was actually probably the best of the series. It's pretty ruthless, them showing like the shit. And, you know, they had me closing my eyes. So that's successful in my book.
Yeah. Good stuff, Matt. Good stuff. So I'm stoked to keep going through all these new horror movies we're going to review, and we've got a couple other good ones coming up. But next week it's going to be Exorcist Believer, and yeah, Matt, do you have anything else to add?
Nope. Do you want to take us out, or do you want me to take us out? Because you can do it. I'm good with it.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to the 6th annual Harvest Horror Fest, episode 1 of the 6th annual, or 343. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next week. Make sure to follow us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now, go out and catch a movie.
Greetings, everyone. This is Ma Henshaw, loses her pumpkin spice cookies. Episode number 32, Saw X. Greetings, Matt. How are you?
Did you just say greetings?
Yes.
The hell are you, a gift card or a...
Yes, I'm a gift
confused.
card. Yeah, pumpkin spice latte rounds for everyone.
Do you even drink pumpkin spice latte?
I did. I had one. Isn't that exciting?
So you paid $17 for a coffee that cost them 17 cents?
Well, yeah, but that's the last one I'll have because it's too expensive. Yeah, not worth it, really. You know. But I love my pumpkin.
Here we are. Mysterious Mike Talent's 6th annual Harvest Horror Fest. Ma Hinshaw has to participate in it. Ma, this is your first Harvest Horror Fest officially for a podcast. I think you did it for the radio, the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure. I'm 95% sure.
Yeah.
So now you get, hopefully you stick to 15 minutes of jabbering about a horror movie. Now, do you remember what you told me on the radio before all of this started? That you love horror movies and you love blood, guts, and gore. And I am astonished you ever said those things, because I did not know my 81-year-old mother, who I've known my whole life, likes horror movies. That makes no sense to me because you've never said that before.
Okay, well, I can take it back.
Well, do you or don't you?
Well, okay, look, I have watched many episodes of Halloween. There's a bit of blood there. Now, I'm not saying I love buckets of blood, but I can handle and I don't mind some scary movies, okay?
So that's Halloween is not an episode, it is a film.
I know I watched, through number 7 of Halloween. I don't think I've seen the 8 yet. Anyway.
Why did you call it an episode, though? They're movies.
Well, I use different words. I'm old.
Damn right you're old.
Yeah. 81, I'm lucky I'm talking and not just sitting and drooling. So,
I prefer the sitting and drooling. You'd be a lot easier to stick in a home.
Yeah, well, I know, but I'm going to fight. I don't want to go there. Anyway. Yes, this movie was extremely
incredible, amazing,
ridiculous,
scrumdiddlyumptious. Your favorite horror movie ever?
No, it wasn't. It was stupid.
So then defend yourself. Why is Saw X so stupid and Mysterious Mike Talent said it was the best ever?
Well, he's a Saw aficionado and I'm not, okay? I thought there might be more chainsaws or something like that, but this was really weird. And number one, I don't think the folks that maimed themselves would really be able to do that, because they would pass out before they, chopped off appendages or whatever.
Spoilers!
Well, I know it's a spoiler, but that's one of the things that I had umbrage with. Ridiculous. If I started sawing on one of my parts, I would go and pass out.
Okay,
I would not be there to finish cutting.
That begs the question: which one of your parts would you saw off that wouldn't make you pass out?
Maybe my toenails.
Oh no, I know better. You pass out at the nail salon all the time. You talk about how the little Vietnamese boys are sitting there. You wake up and they're done with your toes. Don't lie.
Well, okay, never mind. Okay, but no, and this was, the methods of self-destruction, I will use that word and not the M word, were really weird. And I thought it was weird. Pardon me. Okay.
What do you mean the M word?
Utilization.
Well, Mom, it's your podcast. You can say whatever you want. This isn't the radio. You can swear.
Utilization, because basically he was making everybody kill themselves.
But they didn't kill themselves. The machine killed them because they didn't do the chore within this certain period of time.
Yes,
the puzzle.
I know, but
That's why
they
Jigsaw
did a pretty good job of chopping or whatevering. They did a pretty good job. And there was a whole bunch of Caro syrup blood, granted. And I also thought it was pretty silly when the one person was decapitated and the head bounced on the floor, which tells me I don't think that was, very realistic. Okay? So there. Another spoiler. Sorry. Just to say. But anyway, I'm very concise. I and other folks in the audience too laughed at some of the killings, and that shouldn't be. You should be going, "Oh, scream! It's awful!" And we laughed. That's strange. And then, well, I'll be very concise here. Are my 15 minutes up yet? And I thought the ending was anticlimactical as blazes. The bad lady it was ridiculous. She could have had at least a few scratches or, whacks or, few little slashes here and there. No, that tells me we will have a Saw 11. Right?
Well, if you listen to the podcast that's before yours, I discussed that this is probably the start of a trilogy. So,
a trilogy.
Yeah, well, Mom, it's making a lot of money. You might hate this movie, but the general public does not.
Well, they're into Saw, but I'm not a Saw person. Okay? That's all I can say. I am not a Saw person. So, yeah, it didn't really, I don't know, I just expected different. And, and what's his name? Tobin was very good playing the gentleman who was sick and everything. But it just, I didn't care for it. And I'm probably a minority of one, and I'm sorry about that. There. Okay? You and Mike both loved it.
I don't love it, Mom. I'm not into horror movies, especially gore porn.
Oh, that's what it is, gore porn.
Yeah, it's gore porn. It's blood, guts, and gore. I even said that on the radio. You don't listen to me at all. Jeez.
Well, I'm not going to listen. You haven't put it online yet, so shush.
I don't put the radio online. I don't have access to that anymore.
Well, I know, but I still have trouble with the radio sometimes. But anyway.
But yes,
wait,
it's gore
not porn. They had their clothes on.
Mom, gore porn. Lots of gore.
Okay.
The excess. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, excess. Okay. Okay. Yes, there was excess. And as much cutting things, stuff there should have been more blood than what there was. But there was a lot of blood, I admit that. But, not a whole bunch. Anyway, that's my view. I was not really excited about this movie, which, okay, I'm an old person and I'm weird and I'm not into Saw. So, okay, there we go, Matt.
Okay, so how many cookies do you give Saw X then?
I gave it 1.
I still don't understand why you say you love horror movies and then you said you don't like this at all when this is like what all horror movie people love. I'm very, very, very confused.
Okay, I will. Shall I just say I love scary movies? Would that be better?
Yeah,
Horror
probably.
movies. All right.
Okay, tell me what your favorite scary movie is then.
Oh, gosh. Well, I really loved the very first Halloween. I thought that was really scary, and I liked it.
It's only because you just watched all of them.
No, I liked the first one the best.
Oh, Lord.
Liked it for years and for a long time. Long time. Okay?
Okay, so are you excited for next week's film then?
Yes and no. I hate watching people throw up, because when you have, 5 or 6 kids who get sick at times, I'm not thrilled about it. But
Where did you get 5 or 6 kids? There's 3 of us.
And 3 grandchildren who I would have come over once in a while. And
yeah, but you didn't raise all 3 of them for the whole time.
Oh, heck no. I'm just saying, once in a while they would get sick. Ugh. Anyway, but I think this is going to have a lot more vomit in it than the original, so we will see how that goes. Don't you think there will be a lot more puke?
Well, there's 2 girls that are possessed, so yeah, there's going to be more puke. And
More puke.
Mom, you didn't even tell them what the movie is. We'll be going to the theaters to watch The Exorcist Believer. It comes out in theaters next week, and it looks truly scary and truly what I would classify as a horror movie and not gore porn.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it won't be blood, it will just be pukiness. Okay.
And possession and evil and satanic and haunting.
Yes.
And
yes. Yes.
So,
Okay.
all right, Ma, is there anything else you want to add for Ma Hinshaw loses her cookies? See, why can you not like vomiting? Because the name of your podcast is Loses Her Cookies. Isn't that another term for throwing up?
Ooh, you're right.
So you should like it.
I thought I just dropped my cookies on the floor or something. Oh, well. No. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see if I can survive through this one. Okay.
Well, all right. I guess that's it, since she's not going to explain that she likes vomiting or doesn't like vomiting based on The Exorcist. So we'll just go from there. Yeah?
I don't know. I'm curious to see if it's green or brown.
I'm going with magenta.
Okay. Sounds gravy to me. Magenta would be wild. Ooh, okay.
So thank you, everyone, for listening to another rousing episode of Ma Hinshaw Loses Her Cookies, specifically number 32. Tune in next week. We continue the Harvest Horror Fest with The Exorcist Believer. If you're bored and you want to see my mom tweet, maybe, we still haven't figured it out yet, but follow her at GramGramSV on X, formerly known as Twitter. She has a Facebook, but not a Ma Hinshaw Facebook. And she doesn't go on there either anyway. So,
I do too.
She's not really a social media person. She doesn't really call and text. She just doesn't like people, I guess. I'm not sure.
I do too.
She just hates her children then, I guess. Or her grandchildren who throw up all over the place, I guess.
No, I love you all. Love you all. Anyway.
Well, thanks again for listening, everyone. We will chat at you next Wednesday.
Bye.